Hello, I'm Henry Hull. Welcome to our little journey through time, where we'll be diving into the fascinating life of one of the most iconic sideshow performers in history, SCHLITZIE, the unforgettable star of Tod Browning's classic film Freaks.
Oh, SCHLITZIE, what a pretty dress. Oh, how beautiful you look tonight. You're just a man's woman. You know what I mean? Huh? You. If you're a good girl, when I get to Paris, I'm going to buy you a big hat with a long, beautiful feather on it.
SCHLITZIE was born in 1901, though the exact date and place are a bit of a mystery. Some say it was in the Bronx. Others think it might have been somewhere in California. As you might imagine from a performer of this nature, official records are scarce. As far as we know, SCHLITZIE wasn't his given name. He came into this world as Simon Metz. At least that's one of the names he was known by. SCHLITZIE was born with a condition called microcephaly, which gave him an unusually small head and a childlike demeanor that made him stand out, even in a world as diverse as the sideshow circuit. Microcephaly can result from several causes, including genetics, even extreme fetal alcohol syndrome. As a performer, his handlers shaved his head to emphasize his small skull, and his hair was cut specifically to form a ponytail to exaggerate the point at the top of his skull. Although born a male, circus promoters often advertised SCHLITZIE as a female, with names like the Monkey Girl or Last of the Aztecs. Back then, female performers were a bigger draw, and he, of course, wouldn't be seen without his signature muumuu.
Well, others are too amazed to make any diagnosis whatsoever. She was found playing in a pelican's nest high in the cliffs of Afghanistan. And when they tried to take her down, she screamed something like this. We feed her nothing but raw eggs and angleworms. And there's a standing reward of $2,500. Think of it, folks, $2,500 for every man, woman, or child that can penetrate the mystery of this unusual freak of nature.
SCHLITZIE stood at just around 4 feet in height, with cognitive abilities similar to those of a 3- or 4-year-old child, giving him the appearance of being much younger than his actual age. His speech was often a series of unintelligible sounds, making his communication difficult to understand. Nonetheless, SCHLITZIE was a favorite with the fans and caretakers. Quote, like a 3-year-old frozen in time, each day brought new wonders to SCHLITZIE. His childlike exuberance, boyish innocence, and unconditional love for everyone he met endeared him to everyone he came into contact with. End quote.
So fine. Well, we tell so what? I wish you were a man I was just in my time stand.
Why, SCHLITZIE, what's the matter? Oh, I'm sorry, SCHLITZIE.
This house fine. And she was sharp. I was trying to ask to stay on the stand.
The world of sideshows in the early 20th century was a curious mix of wonder and exploitation. People with unique physical traits were often displayed as freaks for the public's entertainment. It was a tough life, but for many, it was also a family, a place where they found acceptance in a society that didn't always know how to treat them. For SCHLITZIE, the sideshow circuit was all he knew. In 1932, SCHLITZIE was cast in Tod Browning's film Freaks. This was no ordinary movie. Freaks was a horror film that flipped the script, making the so-called freaks the heroes of the story and showing the real monsters to be the ones who judged them. SCHLITZIE's role was small, but unforgettable. His presence added an authentic charm to the film, a kind of innocence that made Freaks more than just a horror movie. Panned and a commercial flop, Freaks found new life in the 60s and showings at midnight movies. Movie fans saw that the film was more sympathetic than exploitative. For years, prior to and after Freaks, SCHLITZIE performed with nearly every well-known circus. He was frequently traded, sold, or loaned to different circus owners. Unlike performers with greater mental capacity, those with severe intellectual disabilities, like Schlitzie, had little control over their careers. Despite this, Schlitzie was said to have enjoyed his travels, which took him to various places, including distant locations like Venezuela. But like many stories from the Sideshow era, Schlitzie's life had its ups and downs. There were moments of sadness and uncertainty, especially after the death of his longtime guardian, chimp trainer George Surtees, in 1965. Without George, Schlitzie was institutionalized, a fate that could have been his reality had it not been for a twist of fate when a fellow performer, sword swallower Bill Unks, recognized him and arranged for his release back into the world he knew and loved. In Schlitzie's later years, performances tapered off as he lived a semi-retired existence. He could be seen entertaining people in MacArthur Park, dancing and feeding the pigeons and ducks. Schlitzie passed away in 1971, never really having a home or fortune from his fame. But despite these things, Schlitzie had a childlike innocence and warmth that circus goers and performers all remember fondly. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a new video. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, thanks for watching.